Welcome to Sin City. Las Vegas, where the party never stops. But this is a city of contrasts. Amidst all the wealth, there are thousands living in some of the most desperate conditions.
I guess the people here have completely lost any compassion whatsoever, and they treat people who are homeless like they're not human.
Dave Marlin coming in. Vegas Stronger coming through. No one should be living down here. You know, it's unsafe, it's unhygienic. It's not the way a human should live.
As the city's homeless population hits a 10-year high, those on the front line fear this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It's like literally Vegas' dirty secret.
Beneath the city of Las Vegas lie more than 600 miles of storm drains, home to a growing homeless community.
So there's like a little walkway right here.
Whoa, careful, it's slippery.
Echo Marie lives here, in this tunnel, with her husband and pet dogs.
So we actually have like, this is like the little front area right here.
Okay.
We have like our bed and everything, it's behind the curtain back there. So when the cops come, they can't see us back there because then they won't like harass us.
Originally from California, she says she lost everything following the breakdown of her previous marriage.
How difficult is it living in this neighborhood?
Well, you know, there's some that are, you know, more drug infested, I'd say. Like us over here, we keep it more civilized. We don't have a lot of the crime, you know, that goes wrong in the other day. Like directly across the street is like the worst. They have the cops over there all the time.
She says the city's hostility towards homeless people has forced her underground.
How did you end up living here?
The cops just basically, oh, if you're here, you're gonna go to jail for trespassing. Sure. And if you're here, and so basically they ran us around the four corners of this specific neighborhood until we ended up here. And they basically tell us that, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So they kind of like, if we don't go to the shelters and we decide we want to go to the tunnels, then it's okay with them as long as we're in the tunnels. So like I said, this is like basically like our common area. You want to go down, it's hard on the back.
Oh wow, it's really low.
Yeah, it's low. Okay, yeah, there's water that runs through here 24 hours a day. So in order to keep things dry right here, basically we have the rocks and the sandbags, and that way we could at least try to have, you know, our clothes semi-dry. Yeah, sorry about the mess. Mella, go lay down. Get in your chair now. Stay there, don't get up. Thank you.
And you know, if and when it rains down here, how difficult does that get to live down here?
Okay, so when it rains, the water obviously rises and it moves faster. It starts over in the tunnel on the end over there, and then it works its way all the way to that end. This obviously floods out.
And how does it feel to live under these conditions?
You know, to be perfectly honest, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it could always be worse. It definitely can always be worse. It's not the greatest of situations, but I've always been adaptable to my environment, because some people do get hopeless. It's very easy to give up. Very, very easy to give up out here.
Echo, how hopeful are you that this will end soon?
That's a hard one because I don't know if it'll be soon. I know that I'm hopeful that it will end and that there will be a better outcome.
Las Vegas has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the country at 10 in 1,000 people. There's been a 56% increase in just 3 years. The cost of living, America's opioid crisis, and the fallout from COVID are all factors driving these numbers.
Ooh, snap. Watch your step. It's a little rickety.
Shauna McQueen runs a small independent charity providing food, clothing, and water for the tunnel's many residents.
It's actually quite cool, so you can understand why people would rather be staying down here than upstairs on the streets where it's 30+ degrees.
There's a bunch of graffiti. Super cool.
More than 1,000 people are thought to be living down here.
Is this the gallery already? It's pretty crazy, you know, because this country's rich and then like Vegas is like exceptionally rich.
Last year alone, the city's casinos raked in more than $10 billion. There's no state income tax. It's tourism that brings the money in, with taxes on hotels and casinos.
Where we are right now, we are literally below Caesar's Palace. The juxtaposition here is really, really sad and uncomfortable.
All this property, all this money coming in, you know, and it's crazy that like in there's all types of like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and like, you know, $1,000 suites and everything. And then like literally right underneath it, people are living here. It's like literally Vegas is like dirty secret.
Local businesses and property owners keen to protect their assets are taking matters into their own hands.
Every individual sector has a binder, and the binder has the list of the properties that are going to be hit. The number of people in the sector determine how they split it up.
Okay. They're paying private security firms like this one to clear homeless camps.
So if they don't belong there, now we find out why they don't belong there, because it's all private property, right? So that gives us the power to remove individuals who should not be there.
This isn't a small operation. They have 230 members of staff, most of them ex-military or police.
But other than that, everything else is done. Cool, cool.
Do you have a clothing description?
Yeah, black shirt, black t-shirt. He's got a big beard, jeans.
Okay, I'll get an officer over there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Unit 1 to Unit 3, are you on the air?
Copy.
Head over to 7-Eleven in Stewart. That's where the calls come in.
Copy.
We're not law enforcement. We don't want to be. But there's just not enough of them, and they're being overwhelmed on a day-to-day basis. So somebody has to do it. And that's kind of why we exist.
Their remit is to move people on and refer them to a local charity.
What's up, boss man? This is private property, right? Have you ever heard of the shelter Vegas Stronger? We have some resources that could get you off the streets if you're looking for a meal, looking somewhere to sleep. Are you interested in that?
If there's resistance, they can conduct a citizen's arrest. It's a carrot and stick approach.
They can help you get an ID card, all that stuff. All right? All right, man.
But there are clear limitations.
So this is ours, that's not. So we have no jurisdiction right after that light pole. So we can go speak with them, but not in a security capacity. Not every owner of every property wants to invest into the safety and security of their residents and, you know, our operations to get people off the streets. You can show us out at H1 Housing Authority property. Got an encampment right in the front of the sign. How are you? Come on out here.
A makeshift camp has appeared outside the City Housing Authority, which is responsible for providing affordable housing.
No guns, knives, bombs, hand grenades, nothing like that? You good? You know you guys are on Housing Authority property?
Sidewalk.
No, all this is Housing Authority.
Okay, I thought it was a sidewalk.
You're actually literally on the sign. We'll give you a few minutes to clean up and then we'll chat after.
All right.
Most shelters won't let you bring belongings.
What are the things that people like these guys can do if they've got all their possessions that are clearly important to them?
So that's unfortunately something that they truly have to deal with on their own. As much as we would love to be able to assist them, our policy is that, you know, we can't help them unless it's an emergency. That's something that still no solution to that. We'll let you pack up, man. I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit, but I appreciate you, man, being so cool, Frank.
All right.
All right?
Likewise.
All right, be safe.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good copy.
This is where the security team directs people they find on the streets, a homeless charity called Vegas Stronger.
Kayla, you okay?
Is Kayla okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's all right.
Okay. Partly funded by the city, they prioritize addiction treatment before housing. People can't come in unless they're sober.
Right now, the 7,900 unhoused we have, most of them got out there because they were using drugs or because they have a serious mental illness. That's who we see now, and that's most of the clients we're treating.
It's a controversial approach. Federal government policy prioritizes housing first. Here, it's about tough love.
There are some people on the streets that we've spoken to who feel that the method is just to get them off the streets and out of sight.
Unhoused people feeling like they're being shooed on is 100% appropriate. Now, it's being done out of compassion. You know, to me, I'd reverse the question and say, why do you feel so entitled that you could camp out on a park or in a street or in some public place? It's inappropriate, it's wrong. Come into Vegas Stronger and come get well. Hey, how's it going?
Great.
I'm Dave.
Dave, John.
John, good to see you, bud.
I'm Jordan.
Judy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Good
you
be
too.
here.
The challenges for older people are particularly acute. John is 65 and has spent most of his adult life on the streets, but he's reluctant to go into shared housing.
So have you given any more thought to doing sober living?
Yeah, I'm still debating.
Well, just give it some thought anyways, because I would like to have you in housing if that's possible. You know what I'm saying? The goal at the end of the line is for you to be comfortable and not have to use to make it through life, right?
And I haven't really sat down and wrote out a goal because I figured, what's the point? I'm not going to stay sober, so why even bother?
He's been 40 days sober from drink and drugs, but doesn't know if he can handle the commitments asked of him.
I don't want to have to depend on anybody or any source to keep me sober and straight. I mean, if I had it my way, I would want to do it my way, but I can't. So I have to use the support system they give here, take the bits and pieces that work for me, and I just have to find my own way.
Shauna and her colleague Larry are taking me to an area of the city that's beginning to gentrify.
Yeah, so this is Fremont Street, downtown Vegas. I've been living here since 2019.
Originally from California, she was homeless herself after losing a job and struggling with her own mental health. She moved here for what were then cheaper rents.
I think Vegas does this weird thing where like they rotate the homeless people to different parts of the city instead of like, you know, fixing anything. One area kind of gets over-concentrated, people get mad, and then they just kind of shuffle them to a different part.
What has been the key driver in the growth of homelessness here?
I'd say increasing rent prices, right?
Her main fear now is for the aging population.
Vegas was really a retirement city for like old people. You could come here with your Social Security money of like $1,000 a month. You can find an apartment that's like, you know, $600 a month and stuff. They raised the rent and they're charging like $1,000, you know? I've seen like 3 eviction notices on people's doors at that location. And it's hella sad. And it's mostly old people that live there, you know? Like if you're young, you can work, you know, you can like hustle some money. But if you're elderly,
what do you do?
Exactly.
And even if we can help them, you know, get their social or their ID or anything, like Social Security is like, you know, $800 a month maybe. So there's no real way you can actually, you know, have a good living on that amount of money.
This is a national emergency. It's insane. You know, the rent is too damn high and there's not enough places to live.
By 2030, the baby boomer generation, those born between 1946 and 64, will have all reached retirement age.
Somebody who's 20 years old and became addicted to fentanyl, we could help get them off fentanyl into recovery and then to work and rebuilding their life. Somebody who's 70 years old and is on fentanyl and has emptied out their retirement and is now on the street, it's a much more challenging situation. We have a person takes too many opiates and their heart and lungs stop, we take one of these, we jam it in their nose, and then, and it injects this drug, which is inert for us, and it brings them out of an opioid overdose.
Today, Dave is heading back to the tunnels to deliver supplies of an anti-opioid drug called Narcan.
Debbie, you mind if I take some waters? I find our subterranean friends are often thirsty. Dave Marlin coming in.
When you're coming through these tunnels, what are you thinking, what are you feeling?
No one should be living down here. You know, it's unsafe, it's unhygienic. You know, we're in such a rich city. And now we'll see people who just live here. It's not the way a human should live.
When it floods, what happens?
If it's a mild flood, it'll end up, you know, washing everything that's on the floor away. If it's a major flood, it takes every single item out of this tunnel and pushes it through.
In 2022, 2 people died during flash flooding. Dave has had to battle his own addictions. He says that's what motivates him now.
You know, when I was drinking, I still had a corporate job and education, but I recognized that it could have been me. Retreating to the tunnels, to me, it's a logical next step. These are people just like me or you.
And do you think that's how they're seen by most people in the city?
No. I think most people don't want to acknowledge that they're here.
But they are here, and in growing numbers. For those heading towards retirement, losing a job can be devastating.
So Tony, what's up? What's happening?
What's happening, brother?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I'm still alive, still around.
Antonio is 57. Unable to work after a car accident left him in a coma, he spiraled into addiction and wound up on the streets.
I have no idea what it's like to be living on the streets.
You lose your job, you'll find out. I went from driving trucks, making money, to waking up out of a coma, having no money, nowhere to go. It was just like instant. Boop. First you got it, now you don't. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have nowhere to go. I don't know what, so hence there was me on the streets.
It happens so quickly. 1 minute you've got money, you're working, the next minute you're on the streets. I've heard that from many people, how quickly their lives can change.
I had to not let it beat me. I could have gave up. That, giving up. No, I had to just hang in there, man. I had to do a lot of soul searches. You know, I had to dig deep. Right? You never know how deep you can go until you gotta go there. You know? But I'm almost back.
Right now, he's on a sober living program for gambling and cocaine addiction and is hoping to get into more permanent housing.
So here we go. Unit 1 to control.
The state of Nevada spends $313 million a year on homeless services, but charities say the city is short of 85,000 affordable homes.
Hey man, I've seen you before. How you doing, man? Are you just grabbing all that?
The city has also made rough sleeping illegal.
Somebody called and said that you were doing this, and I guess they don't want it on the property, man.
Zach is going to have to move on.
So start loading some stuff up, man. You want some water?
Sure. But have you stayed at Vegas Stronger before? You've gone there, gotten some resources or help?
Stay there.
Okay.
Is this a sort of support that you think you will follow up and use?
It only helps a little.
Had you heard of Vegas Stronger before?
Yeah,
You had
I've been
heard
there
of
a
it.
couple times.
Oh, okay, you've been there.
My caseworker works with them, and she says a lot of good stuff comes out of them. It's just how your drive and your motivation for it. That's really what they're looking for. If you're not motivated to get off the street, then you don't want off the street, so why help?
We're Code 4 here. He was given Vegas Stronger information and advised of the property rules. He'll be packing up and heading out.
Some of the people we've spoken to who are living
on the streets, they say that they feel that the state sees them, or the city sees them as a bad image for Las Vegas.
Statistically, tourists are not going to want to come to a city that is heavily populated with homeless and crime. People are not going to want to come. They don't feel safe.
But do you accept that the city is prioritizing tourism over their own local residents?
Personally, I don't, because I guess I've spoken to them so much. That's never been something I've ever heard anybody say. It's not the priority of the city's responsibility. It's an individual priority that I believe is truly what we should be looking at.
Just being here and looking at all this wealth, it's hard to take in. I'm in one of the richest cities in the world, yet right beneath my feet, there are hundreds of people struggling to survive. But there's some hope. With help and support, John is slowly piecing his life back together. In this quiet neighborhood in the south of the city, he's joined the local pickleball team.
Okay, we're up.
We're up.
He still sleeps rough on the streets in and around this neighborhood.
Now, he's new, so take it easy on him.
But the local community has welcomed him in.
Johnny.
Johnny Erica.
Nice to meet you guys.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. Nice.
What is it about pickleball?
It's fun. It gets me, you know, just excited. So excited to, you know, wake up in the morning and I've got, you know, I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Almost. It's interacting with, as you can see, people call me by my first name. Hey, Johnny, you know.
This is somewhere that's really, really important and personal to John. He feels respected here. He feels valued here. It's a big passion of his, and coming here and committing to this is not only a sense of enjoyment for him, but it also distracts him from things that he's trying to get away from as well. And I think seeing him smiling, happy, and winning here is really, really a big part of his recovery and his journey to getting back to where he wants to be.
America's homeless crisis is showing no signs of abating, and Las Vegas is divided on how to tackle it. But I've seen that as long as helping hands exist, there's a way out.
Anything's possible. Who's to say that, you know, I make it? You know, it doesn't really matter. In fact, what matters is that I'm trying, and I won't give up.
Nice one.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
You did awesome.
Thank you very much.
He did great.